Good morning, all. This is Shad Goody, Shad on Sports, being your provided commentary as well as questionnaire for the creator of the Hair Hotline, Kiki Oil, Yuri Oil, CSU graduate,
All right.
decade-long married black woman, city of Chicago.
And don't forget, I'm a licensed cosmetology instructor.
And licensed cosmetology instructor from great Chicochi University.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Hi, Rha-Kera.
Hi.
Today we have a few questions, random, that were sent in to me, indirectly or directly.
Okay.
And I was hoping that you'd be able to clear up some of these questions for us today, and I appreciate you allowing us your time.
Okay. Now, FYI, I don't know these questions. This is literally just random. Are these questions like along a certain line, or they're literally just all over the place?
These questions are a combination of uneducated as well as first questions that came in different forms and different capacities and from different people.
Okay.
So it's going to be pretty random to kind of test your expertise, give you a broad spectrum of, point of reference for your knowledge. All right, at 1:30 in this episode, our first question is, how do you obtain curly or wavy hair? And if there's a difference, please explain.
How do you obtain it?
Yeah. Someone who doesn't have natural wavy or curly hair, how would they go about obtaining that look? Male or female?
You can style it like that. That's a temporary solution with twists, flexi rods, perm rods, things like that. Or you can permanently change it with a perm with the perm. Not the relaxer perm, but the perm where you use perm rods to set the hair and change the curl pattern permanently. But unless you're born with it, those are the only ways you can do it.
Could you define healthy hair for all of those that are watching today?
Sure. Healthy hair means a lot of different things. Healthy hair means that you have maintained a healthy trim schedule. It means that you are putting the right things into your body, so when the hair comes out, that it starts off healthy. It means that your hair has some sort of natural shine to it. It is easy to comb through. It doesn't really get a lot of tangles or knots. When you start to notice a lot of tangles or knots, that means that you need to trim. You also want to make sure that you have a healthy maintenance schedule where you are maintaining your hair either with hot oil treatments, conditioning treatments, shampooing and cleansing properly, and also making sure you have a healthy sleep regimen for your hair, making sure that you're covering your hair up with either silk. Satin is okay, but you want to do silk because silk is going to be the best fabric for the hair. It's still breathable and allows your hair to still be mobile when it's covered up.
If you had a client or a student that was looking to make a change to their hair and their style, and they were trying to make a decision between going to a weave or a wig, what are the pros and cons to either or, and what would you recommend?
To either a wig or a weave, and what would I recommend? Well, first, I'm always going to recommend that whatever style you do, you want to make sure that the hair is healthy underneath. So making sure, like I said, you have a healthy trim schedule, you have a proper hair care maintenance plan in place. So those two things are important before you even start to do any sort of change to the hair. I would probably opt for a wig over a weave because a wig you can take off a lot easier than you could a weave. And wigs allow you a little bit more versatility versus a weave. You have to keep that style for a certain amount of time before you take it out, or unless you just want to leave it in for a week or two, but it's kind of a waste of money. But with wigs, you can pop them on, pop them off. glue them down, take them off the same night, next night, or whatever. With the weaves, you have to leave them in a little bit longer. They're not as versatile or as interchangeable as a wig.
All right. And for all of our, yes.
Okay.
For all of our followers that are either wearing a style of dread or braid, what is one tip that you can give them that you see not practiced as common for those that wear that hairstyle that you think that would be beneficial for the health of their hair?
Okay, that's a good question. First, we want to make sure that we're contributing to changing the narrative. So we want to make sure that we're not calling it a dreadlock, that we're calling it an actual lock. And we also want to make sure that as we have those hairstyles, that you still have to maintain that hair also. You know, having a lock or having braids is a lot of weight on the hair from the scalp. And you want to make sure that you are keeping the scalp moisturized. You want to make sure that you have a healthy shampoo and cleansing schedule. You also want to make sure that when you have braids or locks, that when you get your hair styled, that they're not pulling a lot, because that, along with the tension that's already provided from the style, is going to add more tension on the scalp and pull the hair out from the hair follicle. And you start to notice the hair bulb coming out, and you want to make sure that if you are styling it, the styles are not too tight. You're not wearing it up in ponytails a lot, because that starts to hurt the edges and right around in the crown area. So yeah, I mean, it's the same thing no matter what hairstyle you're wearing. You want to make sure that you have a healthy schedule. So keeping your hair moisturized, making sure your scalp is healthy, cleansing properly, maintaining proper trims. If you have locks, you still have to maintain those, and not just maintaining your scalp, but making sure that you are moisturizing the entire lock itself, to make sure that it's not drying out, not splitting, and not fusing together with the other locks that are in that area.
Thank you.
You're doing questions.
Appreciate that. No problem at all. And we thank everyone that contributed questions to this questionnaire for Rha-Kera today. Today's sponsors are nobody. However, we do appreciate your time and effort in sending those questions in. I have 2 more questions for you, Rha-Kera, and I appreciate you being patient and diligent in answering.
No problem.
One of the misconceptions or misnomers about hair, or one of the things that are talked about as much, is male hair, man hair, specifically black male. Typically, we either one of the other short styles, braids, something in between, but not a lot of versatility in terms of hairstyles. But now it seems that that's changed a little bit in terms of trends. But is it more trend-based, or is it more of kind of a situation where culturally people are having a better understanding of what they can do to their hair, and I guess bucking trends from old? What do you have to offer to that in terms of, do you see that being more trendy, or is it something that the education of hair overall has opened the door for different, options for black men specifically?
I think that is a very good question, and I think that it's a combination. I think that over time we have become more knowledgeable about our past. I feel like we have become more in touch with the past and our ancestors, and things that we probably didn't know before, things that we did know before, but now we want to make sure that we're embracing and we're cultivating. We also have things that are trends. So I think it's a mixture of both, but I think that men have done a great job at diversifying their texture and diversifying the styles that they wear, and not being confined to just having an afro or just having a short 360 waves or just a fade. I love seeing the guys with the short size, almost that faux hawkish, where it's the short size and just loose at the top, or they have twists in the top or braids. And I love the fact that men are diversifying their hairstyles and not letting stigmas tell them what they should be doing with their hair. So I think it's, like I said, I think it's a combination of both. But men also need to make sure that you have a healthy trim schedule. You have a healthy hair care maintenance, especially when your hair is a lot longer. I know men with shorter hair that shampoo their hair with a bar of soap. Absolutely not. You want to make sure that you have some good shampoo and conditioner. You want to make sure that you're using your rose water just like anybody else is using their rose water. You want to make sure that if your hair is longer, that you're maintaining that by getting your ends trimmed, by tying your hair up at night, or sleeping on a silk pillowcase, making sure that you are moisturizing your hair, as no matter how long or how short it is. You want to make sure that you're doing those same things to maintain the hair that comes out of your head just like anybody else would.
Cool. All right, then our final question today, Rha-Kera. I know you're waiting in excitement. Considering 2020 has been a little bit unorthodox for everyone in terms of hair care being important, has changed. A lot of different things to go into, the maintenance aspect of it, as far as people having to be a little bit more hands-on at home. What is the one thing moving forward after the first 2 quarters of the year? Anybody that's watching me, you definitely would have gotten some tips through the Hair Hotline, or a few videos that you touched on. But could you leave us with one thing that you want to reiterate that we could be doing at home?
That you could be doing. Okay.
That we could be doing at home currently to ensure that our hair isn't fried when we come back out of quarantine?
Great question. I actually have an article up right now on the hairhotline.com /post, and you'll see ways to maintain your hair during quarantine. But first of all, I want to say what you should not be doing. Stop coloring your hair during quarantine. I have had so many questions of people that have tried to color their hair, that have not gotten the color results that they were looking for, that end up having to now go spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars at a professional stylist, when they may not be ready to go back into the salon, but you really don't have a choice because you kind of didn't get the result that you were looking for. So that's number one. Stop coloring your hair at home. Box color does not allow you to have customizable hair results, as if you were going to a stylist. Your stylist can customize those hair results, those hair color results, for you, according to your hair history and according to where your hair was when you sat in the chair. So that's that. Some of the things that you want to make sure that you're doing is the same things that you would be doing on a normal basis, with the adage of not using a lot of tension. So staying away from a lot of ponytails. If you are wearing a ponytail, make sure you take that ponytail out at night, or make sure you take it out every couple days. I've had people during quarantine that have had severe tangles in their hair, or the hair has locked up from the lack of movement. So make sure that you are, if you're wearing a ponytail, that you're taking it out at night. You're brushing your hair, combing your hair, starting at the ends and working your way up towards the scalp. Using rose water. I know I mentioned it before, but rose water is amazing at helping balance out the pH of the hair. It's also amazing at balancing the pH of the scalp and helping to, if your hair is severely oily, it helps balance that pH so you get less oil or less sebum being produced on the scalp. If your hair is or your scalp is super dry, it helps moisturize it so you're not producing as much dry scalp. Making sure, like I said, not a lot of tension. So with the ponytails, if you do have a ponytail, don't wear it too tight. Take the ponytail holder out at night, like I said before. Make sure you're sleeping with a silk scarf, or a silk pillowcase. Satin is okay, but silk is going to be the best breathable fabric for the hair. Along with other things, using proper shampoo and conditioner. A lot of over-the-counter shampoos and conditioners are not meant for everybody, and you have to pay attention to what works the best for your hair. And just because you saw it on YouTube doesn't mean that it's going to work great for you. So sometimes finding the right product is about trial and error, but you want to make sure that you stick with what works for you, and making sure that you're eating as healthy as possible. Healthy hair starts on the inside, so if you're not giving your hair a healthy start, there's no way that it can be healthy as it comes out of the scalp. So those are just some things. I have way more things on thehairhotline.com/post, and you'll see ways to maintain your hair during quarantine.
Great answer.
Yeah, thank you.
Great questions again, everyone. Rha-Kera, could you let everyone know they'll be watching this, how they can get in contact with you?
Sure, absolutely. If you go to thehairhotline.com, there is a box at the bottom where you can do a live chat with me about any hair questions that you may have. You can also submit your hair question, and I'll get back to you either the same day or next day. You can call us at 872-216-0726, or you can text us. That number is text friendly, 872-216-0726. That's how you get in direct contact with the Hair Hotline. You can also follow us on social media at The Hair Hotline on all platforms except Pinterest. It's just Hair Hotline on Pinterest.
Cool. All right. Well, we appreciate your time today, Mrs. Rha-Kera.
Thank you. Thank you for those questions. Those are some good questions.
Of course they were. Once again, I thank everybody for your time. Hopefully you gained some knowledge as well as some insight or perspective in regards to these questions today.
I hope so.
Thoroughly answered. If you want to watch it a million times, feel free to do it and share it with everyone.
Absolutely.
This has been Sean Goody. This has been 21 Questions. Have a good one.
But we didn't do 21 questions.
Doesn't matter. It's okay. We'll be okay. Next week we'll have some more ethical hair questions. Ethical hair questions in terms of more of the science, or a little bit more background in terms of social changes in terms of hair care over the years. So I think that'll be very interesting. A more historical point of view in terms of content. But thank you.
No problem.
Absolutely. It was
Keep
a pleasure.
the questions random.
Absolutely.
Don't prepare. I mean,
No,
don't tell me.
they won't be prepared. It's just giving you a heads up on what next week's episode will be.
Okay.
Keep smiling. Thank you, everyone. Be
Thank
safe.
you.
Have a good one.